Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon is an oft misunderstood Fire Emblem game. It has received flack for being too faithful to the game it was based on, that being FE1, and its art style and graphics turn many people away. Honestly, this is really sad because Shadow Dragon is a fun experience that every Fire Emblem fan should enjoy at some point. But with that being said, today I want to discuss what Fire Emblem Three Houses needs to learn from the 11th entry in the franchise. Many have stated that the writing of Shadow Dragon is bland, but how could a game that is given some of the best one-liners in the series have boring dialogue? Some of the best being, humanity's hope rests upon your shoulders. I would sooner not see them be crushed. Which, humanity's hopes or my shoulders? And of course the iconic line, I am a prince before I'm a son or a brother. This criticism that Shadow Dragon has bad writing never sat well with me. And I believe that it adds some really interesting flavor to an otherwise straightforward slay the evil dragon plot. This is exactly the kind of thing Three Houses needs. It needs exciting, flavorful text that will engage the reader. Now, this is more of an issue of translation than storytelling, but since Nintendo is doing both the writing and translation of FE16 in-house, I imagine that the original vision of the Japanese story will come through. Anyways, it's obvious that Shadow Dragon's translation team had a good time inserting personality into the story, and I hope that Three Houses will get the same treatment. Moving on to gameplay, Shadow Dragon had a very robust difficulty scale. Though casual mode had not yet been introduced into the series, Shadow Dragon still had 6 different difficulties to choose from. This wide variety made for a game that could scale to just about anyone. Normal was totally doable by any player, whereas Hard 5 was downright diabolical. Its enemies were terribly tough, and you were lucky to take any of them down in one round of combat. Three Houses needs to have varying difficulty settings. After the release of Fire Emblem Echoes, which only had normal and hard mode, it'd be nice to see a return to form with a lunatic mode for veteran players. Next, let's talk about reclassing. I think Shadow Dragon suffered overall because of its reclassing system. For those who do not know, Shadow Dragon allowed the player to change to the class of any character with a few exceptions. There were few restrictions on reclassing, the only thing being that you can't have too many of the same class, and characters were only able to change into classes from their original class set. For example, a Cavalier can change into an Archer, Myrmidon, Mage, or Priest, but he cannot change into a Knight, Mercenary, Fighter, Hunter, Dark Mage, or Pirate. In all honesty, those restrictions don't keep the player from changing every character. While this does add to the replayability of the game, it hurts the overall perception of the cast. Now you could say that the lackluster cast is caused by a lack of support conversations and other dialogue, but think of other characters throughout the series. My mind goes directly to Ronan from FE5. His only speaking lines are found in his recruitment conversation with Leaf, but his unit build makes him so memorable. An archer with high move and high magic but low strength. Shadow Dragon lacks this in its characters overall because of the ability to change everything so much. Three Houses needs to keep reclassing in check. Awakening and Fates both had reclassing as well, but this same problem was rectified with characterization and supports, as well as limiting reclassing options. I am fine with Three Houses having reclassing, but it needs to make sense to the character's overall personality and build. Lastly, let's dive into the multiplayer of Shadow Dragon. I had a surprisingly fun multiplayer where the goal was to either defeat the other team in combat or to take the fort in the middle of the map. It was extremely basic, but it could be a good start for an online PvP mode in Three Houses. And now that Wargroove has been released, it makes me hope for a map creator in Three Houses, though it probably isn't realistic. Alright, that'll do it for me today. Let me know in the comments, what do you think Three Houses should learn from Shadow Dragon? And of course, like and subscribe for more Fire Emblem discussion.